Hey there friends, it's your favorite neighborhood nerd, Simone. I'm here with a Snippets from my desk video, and I want to talk about my trip. I just returned from it. I want to change out something that broke, and I want to make a pen check because I already saw that this one burped into the cap. Pen check. And then I want to show you and tell you about the two books that I'm currently listening to and bought while I was on the trip. And then I want to catch up in my journal. And then, I'm not done with Benu yet. I received two of their newest release, the Benu Haute. And I want to go and I want to check them out with you as a first look. But I do still want to film a proper video about it. So that's a lot of things on my agenda. Let's dive in. I have been using this plastic container to store all the loose bits and pieces that don't fit into my Ephemera traveler's notebook. Like they're surplus that I don't have space for there yet. Maybe I need to change out stuff in there and get rid of this whole thing. But I stuffed it in a box. In a bag that was just not sturdy enough to protect the plastic from getting squished and breaking. And so I decided, okay, well then I guess it's time to find a different solution. And I pulled out two of the pouches that I would really love to use, but that haven't worked for me in the past. And so I thought, well, let's try and put this in here. I'm leaning towards this fabric Yuyake A5 pouch. And see how I feel about using that. And if that doesn't work out, I'm going to put it in here. So this is the Nähe general purpose case. It's in A5 size, and I did not expect this to be so large. I think I would have been happier if it was just a sliver smaller, because that's one of the main reasons why this actually didn't work out for me. So let's just, I actually looked through this the other day, this whole box, and I think I still want to keep the stuff in here. I'm just gonna throw it in here instead of using any of the special pockets. Yet, maybe I'm gonna change that. I'm already feeling like this is not, well, maybe if I go flip through this like that could work. I don't know. Here, like if I just open it up and flip through it like this, it's really tough to find space for all the things that I would like to use. And I really have a hard time letting things go. That's just fact. I always feel like I could still use this for something. And it's easier than, especially when I'm like, oh, I can still use this. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll just throw it in here, because then I don't have to go through so much trouble. You know what? I think you know how it is. So this could actually work. The only problem that I'm having, or the only thing that I'm wondering, is if the small bits and pieces might get lost. But I like that the lining is so light here, so that I have actually a high visibility of the items that are inside of this pouch. I'm just gonna try and use this, and maybe I'm going to put these two letters that I wanted to read and still haven't gotten to out here. Yep. I've been looking for these for a while, and I always have a hard time finding them, and then I never make the time to read them. So, yep, I think I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Especially when I'm out and about, when I cut out stuff and I have some leftovers trash, I always throw it in here as well. So I'm gonna just use this. And then I actually, and this is trash, I guess. I actually took this box as well, which houses my washi card samples, which I really enjoy using. I need to make sure that I have them accessible to me. I don't want to take out some of them, but if I were to, which I usually don't, go, this is tough. Well, like, let's say I'm gonna travel it again. I could transport it like this, but I'm fearing that if I transport it like this and then it squishes again, I'm gonna squish the box. Not that it's like, I didn't pay anything for this box in contrast to the plastic one. And this is just another reminder to myself that I should not purchase plastic bins anymore, because if they break, I'm throwing them away. Another waste. I mean, this is also waste. I'd rather use, you know, leftover packaging from stuff that I already get for free or, you know, pay for when I buy the product. So this is working kind of, and I'm just going to, well, not like that. Wow, this is perfect. You can see how easy everything fits in there, how it doesn't fall apart. I mean, it is kind of cool because now everything is in different order, and that is something that I also like very much. If I flip through a book, an embellishment type of book, like my ephemera binder, the stickers and all the things that I put in there are in the same order. And if you flip through this 15 million times, it stops being inspiring. And so having, you know, flipping through this and finding stuff that I haven't seen next to other stuff before is actually kind of helping to inspire, if that makes sense. So I guess that's now my new ephemera. Throw the stuff in here. And then let's check on the pens and see if there's cleaning needs. So I need to rinse the cap and wipe this down with a wet rag. So I'm going to put all the stuff that I need to clean into this bucket here. Let's continue checking things out. Here is all the pens that I have currently inked. This one worked well. It's interesting. It's the Momento Zero that I just showed you in the primary manipulation one has an ebonite feed. And I have the feeling that especially when these are pens that are so wet, they burp quite easily when I'm going, when I'm changing my elevation. I went from, I think I went over 9,000 passes, 9,000 feet at least once when I drove there and back. This one still works. And this is still writing. Yep, I like this. Okay, let's put it back. I haven't used this in a while. This is a vanishing point. Still wet. There's no spillage. That's good. Let's see what this looks like. This is my Karen with a fine nib. There's definitely some moisture here. What does the cap look like? I can't see it. That's okay. Let's see. Usually I just do some figure eights and see how the pen writes. Max is practicing place right now. He has a really hard time chilling out right now. Okay, there's a lot of ink still in here. This is my M800 with a fine nib and Diamond Safari. And then let's see. Oh, I haven't even shown this to you yet. So I guess I'm going to show you something else too. This is, I want to film a video about this as well. This is my newest acquisition. This is a Papa J pen. And look at this finial. I have named, this pen didn't have a name. I have named this pen Hippie Flower Girl. Hippie Girl's Flowers. Okay, well, I need to figure out a name. This is totally reminiscent to me of the batik t-shirts and flared out jeans. And then she has long hair and flowers in her hair. Doesn't it? Isn't that like cool? This is a Bach nib. And I am really enjoying that nib. I might be one of the rare people who actually don't like JoWo nibs. Might just be it. Oh, there is definitely some ink spillage in here. This is my Mayfair Goldberry with a Sailor Scythe nib. Wow, there we go. And actually, I don't want to put them nib down. Only the ones that I'm cleaning, I'm putting nib down. Oh, this one had a little mistake as well. Okay, so I guess I'm cleaning this one. But it's still writing. There's still ink in there. Let's see this. This is fine. Yes, Konpeki. Never disappoints, always bright. Oops. That's really the biggest issue that I have with Mayfair pens is the same turn. Oh, yep. This one always has a little bit of a inky circle around here, but it seems to be okay when I'm writing with it. I don't remember what ink is in here. Oh, that mixture that I made. Yep. Yep, I like it. It still works. I don't think I need to clean it right now. So I'm glad we checked those out. Need to clean the pens later on. Books. So if you didn't know, I went on my very first backpacking trip this week. And I then, did I buy it before I went? I think I bought it after. I went to the bookstore, the Spellbinders books in Bishop, California, after I was done with the trip. And then this was their book club, book group pick for October 2025. A true story of a couple who lose everything and embark on a 630-mile walk on the southwest coast path in England. Beautifully written and deeply satisfying read, says Booklist. It's just, I think that is a super cool idea. If I were living there close by, I like that they just, you can come to discuss this book if you've read it, or maybe even if you didn't, at a specific time. And I like that they offer this, like that you can see it in their bookstore. It's not something hidden, private thing. I was definitely drawn in by the title. It's such a beautiful artsy piece. Looks like a linoleum cut of some sort or other cut. And I mean, they are walking, and that's exactly what I did. And so I was very interested in actually, reading about this. The bookseller actually said that it's sometimes, some people in their discussion of the book said that it was very long-winded. So maybe, oh, that's the Southwest Coast path. Okay. That's probably going to be, especially with this so much, adding so much length to it. But I'm really interested to read it. It might be something, I just read it, heard it on a podcast where the person said sometimes they buy books or get books into physical books into their house as a placeholder for their TBR. TBR is to be read if you didn't know. And then they put this book on hold at the library, for instance, for the audio version, so that then they don't read the actual physical book, but listen to it. And that's something that I have been trying to do or doing, especially with indie bookstores. I don't go out and buy a ton of books, but I really want to keep supporting them. But my main form of consuming books lately have been audiobooks. And so I buy one book, and then it doesn't feel wasteful because I'm supporting them, even though I might get the audio version from the library. That is something that I've struggled with for a long time. How am I able to support indie bookstores when I'm going there in person, if I'm actually not reading the physical books? But to be honest, my kids have been reading more and more recently, and so sometimes having the physical copy is really good because that way I can just hand it to them. Even though I listen to it, they might take the book and read it. So yeah, then my son found this awesome sticker, which I loved. Come to the dog side, we have the treats, and I love the pup. He looks exactly like Max. Alrighty, so that's the book, and the book that I'm listening to is the funniest thing. I'm gonna insert a screenshot of the book cover. I don't even know the title. Now that's cool. It is a romance novel about a backpacking trip, which I thought was so fitting. I listened to the podcast, Love and Chili Peppers, the newest version of that podcast, which is a paid for part of the Currently Reading podcast. If you pay their $5 tier supporter, you get extra bonus content, which this podcast is one of them. And they talked about this book on the podcast while I was driving home. So when I stopped, I checked my library, and because it's such a backlist book, it was available right away. So I downloaded it and listened to it on the way back home, which was super fun. The only thing that irked me about it was the fact that they were carrying 75-pound packs, which sounds really, really wrong. My pack was 34 pounds, and that felt like maybe 5 more pounds for a day hike. If I just hike for 2 days or so, would be doable, but I wouldn't be able to carry more than that. And they carried 35 more pounds than I was carrying, more than double the weight, and that felt very unrealistic to me. Now, it's a fluffy book, but also with a little bit of serious topics. It's not just banter. Well, there's actually not a lot of banter. A lot of times you're in the head of the main character. So if you don't like hearing them agonize about their, what is he thinking now? Why is he behaving like that? It's not necessarily all the time like this all the time. And I think that the main protagonist makes a lot of good points while she's thinking about this when she's walking, but it might get a little bit much. I'm not I'm not yet over the 50% mark. But it's getting better and I'm really enjoying it. Not that it wasn't good in the beginning, but like the backpacking trip becomes more center focused, and I really enjoy that part of it. So that's the books. Now let's move to the journals. By the way, when you're in the desert, there's always dust. Everything is coated in this fine foam of sand, which is something that I need to get used to. It felt weird. So this is the beginning part of my my journal. Let me see if I can find. I did, besides this piece, and I need to, I hope I didn't show these addresses. I did a short weekly challenge, which I could talk about as well. Oh, so many side quests. Quickly, let me tell you about my challenge that I did, which went really well. These are actually the cards that I wanted to send on Sunday and Monday before I even left on my trip, and then I didn't send them out on Monday. We left early on Tuesday. I wanted to just drop them in the mailbox while I was there. Completely forgot about it, so they traveled back home with me, and I'm sending them out tomorrow. But what I decided to do, I saw on a calendar that the first week of October was International Postcard Week, and I just went with it. I had this quick idea that what if I send a postcard every day during that week, Monday through Sunday, one postcard per day. And I have to tell you, the weekly format of just sending 7 postcards plus a postcard is written really easily and quickly. And so I enjoyed it so much that I've been thinking about maybe, as long as I enjoy it as much as I do, maybe doing that every month. Just a random week in the month when I'm not as busy as I often am, or I'm not going away anywhere, don't have many appointments. Pick that week. What I did was I addressed all the postcards and added stamps beforehand. So the only thing that I needed to do, so I needed to take a little bit of prep time. And I think I did that twice during the week. So I think I prepped the first 3 and then the last 4. I made a list who I wanted to send a card to. And then I addressed those. So I took maybe 15 to 20 minutes to find the addresses, the correct stamps. I think I added some stickers on the side in the middle, where there is the space between the address and the text. I put a sticker there. And then when the day came, I just wrote whatever came to my mind to say hi to someone. And it was really doable and enjoyable. And I'm glad that it's over after a week. It's not like taking up a whole month. That feels like not doable, but a week. That was really awesome. And if you're thinking about it, I highly encourage you to try it out. 7 days is not a long time. So a postcard a day. And I actually journaled about, like, here, put it right here, the 7 ones. And then I actually sent 2 bonus cards. So I didn't only send 7, I sent 9. Here, this is kind of private, especially while it's open like this and I'm journaling. I do not want you to be able to read it. And so I covered it up a little bit. Yeah, my backpacking trip was up in the air on Monday. I was able to do it. And I'm gonna write about it soonish if I ever get this stickered on. I thought this was the perfect sticker for my backpacking trip, so I cut it out ahead of time. I did it! I have a question for you too. If you are familiar with these wrens, are these points up here, do they like wear out over a certain amount of time? How often do you have to change them? Because I'm feeling like they are not, it doesn't feel like it used to. It feels broader, like it's written down. And I'm wondering if I need to, you know, check my box for if I have more tips than just this one. And if I don't, if I have to purchase more tips like this in order to, I really like the writing tip here. So I would want to replace it with the same one. And if these need to be exchanged multiple times, because that makes, I mean, it's still better than buying, you know, what are they called? Just regular pens. I feel like I'm doing something for the environment if I use this instead of a Pigma Micron that then breaks at some point. But if I have to replace it so frequently, when did I start using this? Maybe in July? I would have to look back on the videos when I started using this. But that would be, if let's say I started using it in July, August, September. Now it's the beginning of October. So it's like 3.5 months. I don't know. Okay. Now I want to write something like momentous, and I don't know what I want to write. So, I kind of want to make this whole page about the backpacking trip because it was so momentous. But I maybe... Oh, you know what? I did and now the IT, well, okay, I did. There's not a lot of, okay, let's do a big T then at the end. I did it. Yep, I totally did it. And I need to, and so now I'm going to write down here, Lake Sabrina. I think it's called George Lake and not Lake George. George Lake and Tayi Lakes. Okay, so that is the first thing that I want to put here. Now, I feel like I need to decorate. Let's go through this and see what I can find. I love this postcard so much. I want to use it on in my reading journal somehow. So what else do we have here? You can be crabby and curious, creative and curious. You can grow your own way. You can be both wise enough to worry and brave enough to begin. Inch by inch by inch. Oh my God, that is exactly how it felt. Okay. Do I want to use this pen to write, or maybe, so I have a smaller, this is a really fine needle tip on the Tom Studio Lumos Duo, I believe. Is there a Lumos not Duo? I actually prefer the feel and use of this one. But I have another felt tip on this second part of this pen, and I like that one to discern between this is like an important part, and then I'm gonna write like, text the story, that if you want to grasp the bigger picture, you don't really have to read it. Theo drove me to the trailhead. I think I'm gonna speed this up, and then you can just watch me, or I'm gonna write and come back and do the rest. But sometimes it's kind of organic, so we'll speed it up. as you can clearly see, I think I want to color this in, maybe with pink or with a blue. These two pages don't necessarily, wow, sorry for the mic thing, don't necessarily go together. This is a lot of, there's a lot of decoration here too, and it definitely relates to the story that I'm telling. But here I'm telling one full story all the way through. And here I had like little snippets of different things that happened. But that's my journal. That's how this worked out. And I'm totally fine with it. I do still want to color it though. So let's do that. I don't know, man. I feel like I wanted this pink, but also there's no pink over here. This blue could be cool, or this type of blue. Maybe that's where I'm gonna go. This is the second time in a row that I forgot to plug in the mic. Ugh. So here's a quick look at, there's a lot of writing here, but there's more writing over here. That's okay. It will be different next time. This is what the previous week looked like. I can't fold it over because it's not fully dried. Maybe I should put it away and then show you the other weeks, but I feel like I showed them to you before. And then this is the week before. I didn't stamp the dates just yet, but I will. Yeah. Wow. When Benu reached out to me and asked if I were interested in collaborating with them again, I said, yes, please. Can you send me 2 allures? And I asked for 2 Benu Haute. I think that's how you pronounce it. Haute, Haute. That would be high, very modern, like very sophisticated is how I would describe the word haute. And so I asked for one of the ones that look very sophisticated, not as playful as Benu is known for, and the allure, which is one of the more playfuler types. Both of them have silver trim and finish, and the satin one I actually also asked for a 1.1 stub nib. So I just want to look at them and compare them quickly, and then I want to actually make a measurement video and all that jazz, so that it can be seen by more people when they search for it. I find it super interesting that this is a 1.1 stub nib. These are Jowo nibs, so they have separate housings where the Jowo screw, the Jowo that can accommodate, there we go, the Jowo nib unit, there we go, which makes this pen then more compatible with, like, I could put on here my medium sig nib, for instance, would work on this pen as well. So this is the satin. It's interesting. And basically they're squared off with rounded corners, or facets? When I look at them right now, it feels like they are rounded off, but they're actually not rounded. They're just cut off the sharp corners of the square, and so now it's actually an octagon, right? Yeah. And then it fizzles out. Like if you look at this right here and this right here, the finial on the top on the cap is actually a circle, but then it comes into this. And then the grip section, there's not a lot of step down, actually no step down whatsoever to the grip section, which is really interesting. Karina, if you're watching this, I would be super interested if this pen would actually work for you, because like when you talk about what pens work for you and what don't, this one sits really well in the crook of the hand, and it also doesn't have a big step down at all. It's like almost flush on all the straight edges here. The only thing that stands out is the cut of here, this part. So it's very slim and elegant, and I actually agree with the name for the pen, that it does look very sophisticated, especially this satin one. The allure is more alluring. It has transparent part of the section, as well as the cap, not the section, the body, there we go, is transparent. And you can actually even see the converter through here. And then we have the transparent grip section, as well as a transparent part of the cap. It's still not as flashy as some of the other Benu models. Let me check what I have easily available. This is the Benu Euphoria. And so what I'm noticing is, even though, yes, this is correct, I think the Haute is definitely, looks more refined, looks more sophisticated for sure. It doesn't have as many facets. It's not as klutzy as the Euphoria. Let's pull out the other Benu pens. But they're also, even though this seems to be flashier, it's not as flashy. Even this one is a laid back model, but the holographic glitter stuff that is in here makes it colorful, whereas this is still, even though there's blue stuff inside, it's still very laid back. It's not as out there in the open as this one, or even that one with the multicolors and then the different chatoyances. This one looks almost opalesque. I like how the Benu is sideways here. It fits really well into this part of the cap. There is a silver trim ring here. And then the pen that I'm looking for is the Talisman, because that is the one other model for size comparisons. I did sell my Daily Mate. So it's definitely longer, less faceted, so less busy, but you don't really see the facets in this pen, or it because it's so loud and so colorful. But the grip section is, I think, almost the same. And wow, that's interesting. Let me see how many turns. So the Daily Mate, I have learned, has been changed as well, just like the Benu Pixie, with the customer feedback, or maybe influencer feedback. That would be awesome if it was like changed. So this was the very first iteration of Pixies. And if you put this on here, the cap doesn't stay well. It might stay better because I have washi tape here, but it actually comes off and wiggles off when you write with it. It comes undone. Demonstration doesn't work. This cap and the body is a little bit thicker. It's not longer, it just feels like it, but it's a little bit thicker and not as conical, and the posting works so much better. It's so much more secure. So that's something that they listened to after getting feedback for the first iteration of these Pixies. And the same thing happened to the Daily Mate, where people complained about the absurd amount of turns cap turns, cap rotations that you had to do to uncap the pen, and those have changed. I have been told this only has just a bit more than 2 cap rotations, so we'll do it like this. So this is half, 1, 1.5, 2, and just over 2 cap rotations. That's less, I believe, because if I see these grooves here, it should be more. Let's see if we can do this the same way. Half, 1, half, 2, half, 2.5. So less than Talisman, and Euphoria is, I think, the exact same. Half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. So less cap rotations, which is nice. Now I've always loved the Euphoria, I have to say, and I still love the Euphoria. I like the Talisman, I especially like this model. I like this. I'm really interested to see how I feel about it when I've inked it, when I've written with it. And I'm very excited to be able to have so many number 6 Schmidt nibs. I want to have some of them ground because I'm actually realizing that the Jowo nibs, as I said earlier, don't seem to be the way for me to go. So I have a bigger variety of Schmidt nibs so that they can be ground. This doesn't look like it's going to be working well. This looks like it's a quality control issue. I will write with these and make a full video about them, and I will tell you about this nib and if it works. It looks odd to me, like there's something on there that is not supposed to go, but you would, instead of just exchanging the nib unit and unscrewing this from the section, for the Benus with the flex and the stub nibs, you would actually exchange the whole section because it's a different one and they screw in just as well as the other sections right here. So this is what this looks like. Yeah, I'm really excited to be getting to using this. These, I got them in on Monday when I had one of the worst days of my life. And I opened them up and I was super disappointed, and I decided that that wasn't the right time for me to open these pens, because now that I'm looking at them again, I do feel excited about using them. So really, like, if you have stuff like that going on, if you receive something that you've been looking forward to and you're excited about it, do not open those things when you're already in burn the world down mood, because that might actually like take away from the excitement that you have for the things that you're looking forward to. Yeah, I have to admit, I'm a klutz at heart. So this, because it's a little bulkier and it's more substantial in the body, feels better to me, like at first glance. But I haven't used these pens to write with, and I do feel like they feel really nice in my hand. Yes. What I'm wanting to know is, would this work? Yeah, it looks weird though. The cap probably wouldn't seal well either. But what I do assume is that because they're machined the same, and a lot of the Benu things are similar, I assume and believe that, yeah, the rotations are the same, so you would even be able to interchange the sections on the pens. They're the same length. Yep. And so you could, if that was something that you were interested in, this would work. Not that you have to. What I also like, just this is like one of the older models where a lot of the older models had black. The pen was really busy and colorful, and then the cap band as well as the section and this part of the grip section right here that sticks out from the pen body. This is part of the pen body, but in looking at them, it looks like it's part of the section, is all black. That is not the case with any of these pens here. They're all matching the rest of the pen, so you're not getting a surprise when you uncap the pen and you have a totally black pen right here. Yeah, I'm really excited to measure them, to compare the sizes with these pens. Yeah, super happy about this. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Did you purchase one already? Which one did you go for? Again, Karina, there is one of them that looks like it was made for you. Maybe they thought of you when they made this. It's not faceted much. It doesn't have a big step down. Looks very elegant. I feel like it would look very sophisticated in hands that are a tiny bit smaller than mine. Yeah, I really like these. So, yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions about these pens, let me hear them down below so that I can maybe possibly address them in my actual video. But I don't know when I get to filming that, so I thought I'd show these pens to you right now. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm looking at them again. I love this part here. You know what it looks to me? A little bit like a pool of fish. No, it's not a pool of fish. It's a school of fish. Sorry, English is not my first language. So, yeah, like this. And I also like this. This looks very animal horn kind of feeling. Like if you found an antler and you made a pen out of it, this is what it reminds me of. Yeah, very excited about these. Thank you so much for watching. I don't want to keep you any longer than I have. I am so excited to be back. I can't wait to film more. Until next time, bye.